Shinpung Pharmaceutical Company has contributed to the improvement and the promotion of the health of all mankind on the basis of its philosophy for the health of the people. And Shinpung has been enjoying a good reputation throughout the world thanks to its success in synthesis of raw materials for a broad-spectrum anthelmintic mebendazole in 1975 and the anti-dystomiasis praziquantel for the second time in the world in 1983. Shinpung has been working for the manufacture and distribution of pharmaceutical products since its establishment in 1962. In 1984, Shinpung constructed a factory with up-to-date facilities conforming to the GMP, and it was approved by the Korean government as a qualified pharmaceutical company for all formulations in 1987. Now Shinpung is producing and distributing about 50 kinds of raw materials and more than 200 finished medical products in the domestic market and overseas as well. Shinpung exports to more than 50 countries and its annual sales is about $20 million. In 1988, Shinpung established the Central Research Institute consisting of 5 departments of materials, analysis, biotechnology, pharmacology, and research management. At the institute, more than 50 promising researchers are contributing to the Korean pharmaceutical industry with significant growth and technical developments. And it is technically cooperating with other laboratories and medical schools, which enable Shinpung to overcome limited circumstances and lead the industry. The Central Research Institute is concentrating on producing new drugs such as antibiotics, anti-malarial agents, and erectile dysfunction therapeutics through synthesis of new materials and separation and refining of natural substances. Shinpung has succeeded in the synthesis of the analgesic and anti-inflammatory drug loxaprofen and the anti-cancer drug doxyfluoridine for the second time in the world. In addition, Shinpung is synthesizing and producing cephalosporin antibiotics, ceftriaxone, analgesic and anti-inflammatory drug aceclofenac, and anti-diabetics glimepiride. Shinpung invested about $12 million to build up a factory for penicillin antibiotics in Ansan in 2003, which is the largest scale in Korea. It was designed to conform to the GMP and equipped with facilities of producing all formulations, including tablet, capsule, dry syrup, and injection. Considering particularity of penicillin, the entire facilities are controlled by computer systems to maintain the appropriate temperature and humidity. In addition, it has divided sections according to the dosage forms to reduce allowable errors in the process. The whole process from design to construction of this factory was managed and completed by Shinpung's own capacity. And the production line is fully automated so that the mixing and packaging processes are automatically operated. To globalize its business and find a new market, Shinpung established Tianjin Shinpung Pharmaceutical Company in China in 1995. Tianjin Shinpung is currently running a GMP factory and producing capsules, tablets, and injections. In 1996, Shinpung established another company, Shinpung Daewoo Pharma in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. Now, Shinpung Daewoo Pharma runs its business individually from production to distribution locally. Also, Shinpung established another company, General Medical Company in Sudan, Africa, in 1988, which is the first joint pharmaceutical company between Korea and Sudan. GMC produces medical products and supplies the local market, and its exporting sales revenue in 2004 achieved $20 million. Mr. Shin Ju Kim, Manager of the Marketing Division, will now explain about hyal injection. The medical benefits of hyal injection have been identified through clinical tests for over 10 years. Hyal injection has been used to cure degenerative arthritis in Europe, Japan, and Canada, and sodium hyaluronate injection got the approval from the FDA of the USA in 1997. I would like to introduce the merit of hyal injection from now on. As a natural humectant, lubricating glycosaminoglycan is found commonly in the human body's soft tissue and the main component of synovia. Hyal injection as a joint lubricant absorbs physical shocks on joints and protects joint soft tissue. Hyal injection, the sodium form of hyaluronic acid, relieves the pain caused by arthrosis deforms, periarthritis, and improves joint activities. Next, I will talk about the action mechanism of hyal injection. If you inject hyperbaric viscoelastic hyaluronic acid into degenerative joints, first, chondrocyte will be able to synthesize protein and proteoglycan more efficiently, inhibiting cartilage damage. Second, the amount of viscoelastic substance will be increased in synoviocyte and synovial fluid due to increased HA. Third, it shows anti-inflammatory effects by inhibiting phagocytosis and cytokine. Lastly, the level of PGE2 and bradykinin will be lowered so that pain is relieved. How to choose patients is very important to get good results from curing degenerative arthritis. The patient whose symptoms are not very serious or from Kellgren grade 1 to 3 could be cured by hyal. But the patient whose symptoms are very serious or Kellgren grade 4 cannot be cured perfectly. Hyal could be adapted as an alternative method of treatment. Hyal can be considered as a way of treatment as long as the patient's WBC, ESR, and CRP rates are normal by blood test. But those patients whose WBC, ESR, and CRP rates are not normal should not use hyal because their symptoms could be regarded as inflammatory arthritis. If patients have inflammation or wounds on the skin to be injected, those should be cured first, because there are some possibilities for femoral knee to be infected from them during injection. This slide shown to you now is the inside of a patient's joint showing early states degenerative arthritis. This patient's level of degenerative arthritis looks to be Kellgren and Lawrence grade 1 or 2. Now you are looking at the kneecap. And there are quadricep tendons at this point. There are 2 points that we can inject. The inside or outside of the kneecap is available for injection. Mostly injection points can be selected at 1 centimeter inside from the boundary of the kneecap or at 1 centimeter outside from that. Each has its own merits and defects. If we choose the way to inject at 1 centimeter inside of that, we will be able to inject hyal into the inside of the joint safely, since articular cavity of this point is more extensive than that of the outside. In the case of injecting hyal from the outside, we fail to inject a lot since articular cavity looks too small. But it is more useful to choose the way from the outside when the joint is full of joint fluid. We can extract joint fluid easily from the outside and inject hyal into the joint through the extraction point. I will inject hyal into the joint of this patient since he has no joint moon face. We can identify that patient's skin is very clean and has no inflammation or wounds. We should wait a bit after doing first povidone dressing since the sterilizing power is getting stronger as time goes by. So it is highly recommended to wipe povidone liquid with alcohol after waiting for about 30 seconds. If povidone liquid is injected with hyal into the skin, that will cause a lot of pain. When injecting from inside, if we push the kneecap in a bit, the region of femoral knee and articular cavity will be larger. If we use that point to inject hyal, pains will be reduced. Mostly degenerative arthritis is found a lot in articulation of feet, shoulder joint, and hip joint. I met a lot of patients who have degenerative arthritis of articulations of the foot and ankle joint. Degenerative arthritis occurs a lot on the surface of the joint. This patient's inside surface of the joint got narrowed. Judging the result of the X-ray test, we could know the surface of the joint was degenerated in rugged shape. And fragments in the joint are scattered like this in the front picture. This patient's level of degenerative arthritis is Kellgren and Lawrence grade 2 or 3. This patient could get good results clinically by injecting hyal into the joint like patients having degenerative arthritis. The tibia is located under this point. When injecting hyal into articulations of the foot, we should be careful. There are two ways to inject hyal. One is using outside of the joint surface, the other is using the inside of the surface. But the way to use inside is the better, since that way doesn't give any damage to the joint. Today I will show you how to inject hyal into the inside of the ankle joint through the inside of the joint surface. First of all, we should sterilize the region of the skin to be injected with povidone after identifying the region anatomically. I will disinfect the region again after waiting 30 seconds from first sterilization and designate injection point and get him to move the ankle joint. Move your ankle joint. Through having his ankle joint moved, we could identify the exact location of the ankle joint. After identification, we are able to inject hyal into the inside of the articular cavity through that point.
됐습니다.
Mostly we use hyal when tendinosynovitis occur under acromioclavicular ligament or adhesive syndrome of the muscle in the human body. We could expect good results clinically since injected hyal could be not only a lubricant under acromioclavicular ligament but also could inhibit adhesive syndrome of various articular cavity near the joint. We could infer the location of acromio on the surface of clavicular before injecting hyal into the shoulder. Hyal would be injected under the region of acromio. We could know that easily by touching the patient's skin. That would be approximately 1 centimeter ahead of the acromial front. The direction of injection point is from 45 degrees downward of the shoulder. After identifying the exact point, I will begin sterilization. No matter what joints are injected, the way of sterilization would be the same. I will inject Hyle from under the back of the shoulder after waiting for 30 seconds from first sterilization with povidone. If we check backflow, it will be identified easily for joint fluid is extracted. I will inject from this direction. You may feel a bit sore in the shoulder. Compared to the other injections, Hyle has no side effects because it consists of the same ingredient in the human body. Even though it is inaccurately injected, it will not cause any serious side effects. Patients may get slight pain momentarily after injection, but it is only temporary pain lasting normally 20 minutes. And it could be settled by combination use with analgesic and anti-inflammatory drug or steroidal drug. Hyle injection has the most curative effect in degenerative arthritis treatment when it is operated accurately, but if a patient doesn't get better after several times of injection, I recommend that you examine the patient in rheumatoid arthritis, inflammatory arthritis, or extremely severe degenerative arthritis.